disease. So,
Goblin
it's a
AIDS.
great thing to
Was
start.
it goblin cancer?
No.
Please, it's coming for you.
As bad as he feels right now, he probably wishes it was. But
I hate you. Here, have my life's work.
Zach's essentially summarizing that whole event.
Yeah.
that whole arc.
Oscar, remind me to put The Amazing Spider-Man 2 on the Renegade reference list.
Yeah, we will, and we will have some good laughs about it.
Was it goblin cancer?
Goblin AIDS.
Was it goblin cancer?
Oh, Jesus.
It's coming for you. It's coming for you.
That's pretty hilarious.
I hate you. Here, have my life's work.
Wait, I'm so lost. Zach's essentially summarizing it. Why is this still playing? Oh, it's on YouTube too.
Oscar,
I was like, why the hell is there like reverb here?
Yeah. We apologize here because we are very not good at like tech stuff.
Yeah, speak for
I'm
yourself.
sorry we're
I'm pretty good.
not the comic book cast.
Yes.
And
But,
this is like 12 or so episodes and a reboot.
yeah. we didn't got through. It wasn't even a year. I don't know how we got to. Oh, it was a weekly thing. I'm dumb. I was wondering how we got to like a year already, like 12 episodes. I was like, whoa, but me am not smart. So yes, if you're just joining us, Josh is actually out of commission. He is he contracted a disease. That's why you heard in the reverb that Josh has goblin cancer, goblin AIDS, whatever Norman had in the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Josh is currently struggling with, but he'll be all right. Maybe a little green next week, but so yes, gentlemen, how are you? Nick is something.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I've got coffee.
My laptop is still out of commission. Okay.
Yep. If you've been missing your Zach this week, because the only Zach video was that HNN, and I edited that together. But if you've been missing your Zach, he should be back soon. Don't worry. Zach will be back.
But anyway, guys, I apologize if you've been wanting any more like a Spider-Gwen reviews, which don't worry, another one's coming. Just got to get my laptop battery repaired.
Exactly. He'll figure that out. He'll get it going, and he'll have it back together.
Yeah.
But so yes. So oh, and Nick is here. Hello, Nick. How are you?
I don't hear anything.
Nick doesn't talk. It's just the cowl judging us.
I'm Nick. Tell me.
Oh, okay.
I love.
I got it.
What?
No, I had to plug the mic in.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa. But I love. Have you guys seen that? I guess it's kind of like a joke on the Batman vs Superman trailer where it's like, tell me, do you believe? And Superman just uses the heat vision and just like
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
credits roll. It's like,
Did you guys see the Red Letter Media half in the bag review of Age of Ultron?
no, what? How was that?
It was really good, but they kept lampooning like Batman v Superman.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. Can I just say that I like Mike and Jay better than like the Nostalgia Critic?
You're taking shots right now. Let's not burn any bridges. It's a Saturday. It was very peaceful until you started losing potential friends.
Don't worry. I don't have any ability, remember?
True.
What? You don't have any friends? What?
What are we?
Yeah. You're all just figments of my imagination, and this isn't real.
True. This is this turns even more like psychedelic and existential. Let's get to the task at hand. So, talking about comic book TV shows this week. What was everyone's favorite?
Yeah.
Let's do a round table. I know we had some big episodes. Gotham, season finale. Shield, the lead up to the 2-hour season finale. Flash had a very big episode, and Arrow had a pretty big episode as well. So, I guess Powers, if we can lump that in there, although I haven't watched Powers since the 3rd episode. What do you
Powers
got?
show?
What?
Powers that's on PlayStation?
Yes.
Oh, well,
What's anybody want to jump in with their favorite episode of the week?
pretty
I would probably
good.
say Shield.
I can only vote for Shield since I only saw that. I missed the Flash this week, although I understand that was pretty cool with Grodd. Nick, which was your favorite?
I've only seen Arrow and Flash this week, so I thought they were both kind of equal though.
Equally
I got
good?
to see this week too.
What?
I got to see Flash this week too because I haven't seen it yet.
Oh.
Oh,
Huh?
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I guess we might also want to take some time at the beginning of the show to before we go into each episode in depth to just kind of rest in peace, do a little eulogy for Constantine, because that's gone. Although pretty much every other, it's kind of crazy that every other comic book show got a pickup. Like Shield, Carter, Flash, and Arrow already had their pickups. Gotham, I think, was picked up. Was Gotham
Yes,
picked up a while ago?
sadly.
Did you hear?
Powers was picked up. All these great shows picked up. I think I was most surprised by Carter. Which of the show pickups were you guys most surprised about?
Gotham.
Agent Carter.
Shield I knew was going to happen. Carter I was surprised.
No, Agent Carter is terrible. How did
I
that get a
think-
second season?
My thing with Carter is like I was a little shocked because I was always, I mean, going into it they were saying it's an 8-episode miniseries, and previously before Agent Carter that meant you were only going to have 8 episodes and you weren't going to do a season 2.
Yeah.
But I will.
Because all the Tumblr and SJWs liked it, so they need to another season.
I thought it was probably like
They get to
pound
make
for
the
pound better acting than Shield. A more self-contained concept. I just think the concept kind of, it was a little small. What Shield has working for it is it's a pretty big, like it's an event, and it's a serial like Carter was. But with Carter, it's like, oh, we're gonna clear Howard Stark's name, and in Shield, it's more like we're going to fight Hydra, fight this other Shield, and go ahead and lay the groundwork for the future of Marvel with the Inhumans and stuff like that. And to do that,
Agent
arc-
Carter just dealt with the Howard Stark thing, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it got a little deeper than that. It got into like the roots of, I guess, Hydra in a way. But I guess kind of when they locked up in the very end, there was if I remember correctly, in the very end there was a teaser for Zola and the other guy kind of beginning their work on like Winter Soldier. But
Yeah.
it was.
Exactly.
Carter was a good show. I just think I'm more surprised by what came out of this is that Carter got renewed, and the other show, which I don't know if it was an actual title, but it was like Agents of Shield Mockingbird was going to be the spinoff. They decided not to move forward with that. That was the third Marvel show that was going to be on ABC that actually now they're not moving forward with. So I'm not sure whether that's just because maybe something like Shield and Carter is enough or what, but
I think with what they got on ABC and Netflix is kind of enough, maybe.
I know. I was always a little weirded out by the fact they were going to do another spinoff, especially because having Mockingbird in there has been pretty good for Shield this season, and to spin that off would be interesting. But
Yeah.
so yes, R.I.P. in peace, Constantine. You lived too short a life. Probably one of the better comic shows on TV in general.
Until it gets picked up by Amazon.
Just wait, Amazon.
No,
Yeah.
I guarantee you the show's gonna get picked up again.
Did you guys hear what Steve ML tweeted about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to just, I
Trying to-
guess, tell that to the audience, or?
Yeah, he's trying to get it picked up by Netflix or another network, and he'll do a cameo on the show.
I think he was also trying to get it picked up by the CW. Well, a lot of people. A
No,
lot
I
of
don't
people
get picked up again.
CW, but
Like, I did a news video about this today, I believe, and it's rumored that Fox might be open for picking this one up and putting it next to their other, like, Vertigo influence show, Lucifer.
Lucifer, yes. That'd be great to see. I think because those could cross over. Maybe not traditionally, but they would cross over pretty well. I think.
Yeah, especially.
Universe, technically?
Yeah, they're both DC. So.
Yeah, they're both DC Vertigo.
Vertigo, yeah.
Yeah.
So they could definitely do that. I think. I mean, it'd be a shame to see it go away because it's got a lot of loyal fans. It just didn't get the ratings, I guess, that it needed.
Yeah, that's what happens when you put it on NBC at a 10 p.m. Friday night death slot.
The deaths. People have better things to do on Friday, or generally. But, it's Friday night's the kiss of death. It's almost like Sunday night because you're going up against football, but you're going up against people's social lives. So
NBC was like never the right network for it either. But
I would agree to a degree. I think. I don't know. Like I could have seen it as like a CW, and maybe CW didn't want to do it because it's very supernatural-esque. But and it'd be interesting to see if CW picks it up now. But as of right now, Constantine is unfortunately dead in the water. So, do we want to talk about Shield a little bit? What happened into this week's episode? Because I did a review of it, so I might do like a little synopsis here.
no, we can skip it and move on.
Oh shoot!
I want to talk about it.
You don't. Who doesn't? Who does? Can we get a vote?
I do want to talk about it.
You want to talk about it, or you don't?
No.
Wait, Oscar, what's your vote?
I want to talk about it. Come on.
Talk about it. Zach?
Yeah, I said yeah.
Okay, this is why we should play these things in advance. But, so if you didn't, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this week had probably one of the bigger episodes, although it was really, this week was like almost devoid of action, I want to say. It was there was some intrigue, but there was not a whole lot on the ass-kicking front. But it looked like in the beginning of the episode they were laying some groundwork. Coulson was like, Gonzalez, let's work together. I'll be the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. You can be like the World Security Council or whatever. You'll call me on my shit. But it's at the same time there's this undertone of what they're going to do about the Inhumans now that they know about them. And it ends in this summit between Jia-Ying and Gonzalez that does not end the way anybody expected. And Jia-Ying totally pulls a... I'm trying to think what's another example of this happening, because I know they're out there. I'm just drawing a blank right here.
She did a complete 180.
Yeah, pretty much. She basically killed Gonzalez. Spoiler alert, and made it look like he attacked her. So spoiler alert came a little late there. I'm sorry, but no, it's on ABC. So.
Yeah, but it was a twist because
what?
Like it was a really good twist because they actually built it up like, oh, it's gonna be Raina. Raina's the one who's gonna cause all the troubles for the Inhumans and for Shield. But then you get to the end of the episode and it's Sky's mother.
And
Raina's actually right.
Raina's prediction was, she was like, if they I see them raining fire on us, I've got to be the one to talk to them. You can't let Jia-Ying talk to them, because if Jia-Ying talks to them, they're going to attack us. And Raina, this whole episode, you're led to believe that Raina was evil and Raina was manipulating everyone for her own gain. And it turns out she was right completely. She may have been manipulating everyone for her gain, but she was right, and it was Jia-Ying's fault. And it just, to me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that Jia-Ying would do that. Like, why would you knowingly piss off the people with the guns? Like, you guys are great and all. You have great powers, really cool. But I mean, they've got soldiers in tack suits and with large ships with rockets, and you're pretty much on a mountain. So,
like self-suicide.
It essentially seems that way.
I've got the comments on this live stream right now. It's funny.
Oh, yeah.
The guy with the V-neck makes me uncomfortable.
Wait, what? Hold on, is it on YouTube, right? Are the comments on YouTube? Or?
Apparently you look like Cillian Murphy, too.
Oh, good. I'm a scarecrow.
Wait, me or Oscar?
No, you.
Aha! Not my diagnosis.
Cool.
Oh, dear God. What is happening? My computer is trying to handle having the live stream comments and the YouTube comments open at the same time. It is struggling mightily.
Yeah, but there is one thing about the episode I myself was kind of iffy on. Like, the whole... I know the whole episode is meant to be like a prologue to the season finale, but, I don't know, something about the Age of Ultron tie-in seemed okay and seemed a little... Huh?
I think... Have you seen Age of Ultron yet?
I mean, yeah, I've seen it twice. So I got the connection.
that's one thing that I really liked about this week's Shield is it completely to me it helped Age of Ultron a lot. To me, it solved a lot of the problems that Age of Ultron, like the a lot of people after the first episode was like, once you see Age of Ultron, you'll feel better about the Agents of Shield thing. The Agents of Shield, the first episode's tie-in, and I was like, yeah, great. And so I went and saw it, and I was like, yeah, it was pretty cool. However, I feel like if you watch, your viewing order is the first episode of Agents of Shield, this, and then the most recent episode of Agents of Shield, because this episode to me made me feel a lot better about what is the big twist in Age of Ultron. And spoilers, mute the thing right now, which is Nick Fury showing up with a helicarrier. This episode explains that.
Yeah, it's the whole Theta protocol.
Yeah.
And it's really, it's like, it's a cheap
Also-
thing, I guess you could say. I'm sure a lot of people from like a pure filmmaking standpoint are like probably really mad about this. Because, I mean, is it still a plot hole or a plot device, you know?
Wait, how do they
in your
tie
movie
in
if you
the
solve it in a
movie though?
What?
How did
There
they
was-
actually tie into the Age
You
of
see
Ultron
Coulson's
movie?
Theta protocol that Coulson's been talking about, like the big center of mystery for this entire season was Coulson and Nick Fury and Koenig working on this helicarrier. They had it in hiding. It was like in a garage somewhere. And that's the helicarrier Nick Fury shows up with. And when he makes a reference, he's like, I had some friends dig it out of mothballs, or I had some friends dig it, whatever.
Yeah.
That's what the friends he's talking about are Coulson and Koenig. And so it to me at least kind of helps that not be as much of a Deus Ex Machina as the IGN review called Nick Fury showing up there.
Yeah, you can spell ignorant without IGN, though.
What? Yeah.
Ignorant without IGN, you can't forget that.
God damn it. You're going to get us blocked by IGN like Josh got us blocked by Latino Review.
Oh, you, sir.
Yes, they still block
So you're saying that like this episode of Shield is like a DLC where it's like, oh, to find out how this happened, like you need to watch the episode. Like what?
I guess it's not about the tie-in part, but you know, looking back between the movie,
It's like 100 million people aren't gonna know what happened. There's like 1% of the people watch the show are gonna be like, oh, the other people are gonna be like, what?
yeah.
I
mean-
don't know, it's kind of a plot hole, but
Wait, what's going on?
I don't know.
It was okay. I didn't mind.
I know, I agree with you, and that's why I said from a pure film standpoint, I feel like a lot of people are going to be upset that they decided to handle it that way. But that's one of the perks of having like everything tied in together is like you can set things up and explain things in detail. Although
Yeah.
it kind of encourages. It's the carrot and the stick. So the carrot that you dangle in front of somebody, like here, come watch our shows to get the full understanding.
And then you get like 5.5% of the people that watch the movie watch the show, and they're like, oh.
Less than like his what was it? I think the score for Shield is like a 7 million. Like their ratings are usually like a 2. It's like the 2.0 or 2.1. Gotham, by the way, new infographic suggests Gotham is the most watched comic.
No.
It
Why?
is. It's only by a hair.
How is that
It's by
even
a hair
possible?
over Shield.
The only
Wait,
good
no.
episode was the Scarecrow one, so it was the best
Wait.
one.
It's in the lead by like literally like a very small distance in the ratings too. It's Gotham and then Agents of Shield and then Agent Carter and then I believe Flash, Arrow, and Constantine at the bottom.
No, iZombie at the bottom.
I had iZombie below that, but iZombie got renewed as well.
But iZombie is a good show though too. It's amazing.
That's what I understand. I haven't watched it personally. Why is Zach's camera
I mean,
spinning around? Because Zach likes to have fun.
Because he spins our head right round, baby, right round.
Oscar.
No, I turned off.
I'm not sure if that's
My
like a
bad.
reference to the original song or like the Flow Rida version, but no. So, yay, we reached our new peak for this episode. 7 viewers. Good job, guys. Give her. And down to 4.
Oh.
7. The other 3 got scared. when I mentioned their-
Damn it.
Around when my character.
Yeah, feel free to comment at us. Feel free, like why is Zach's camera spinning around? Because he's on his phone. His computer is currently
Should we
his battery is
talk
dead,
about,
and so he's
talk about the comics that came out, like Secret Wars this week, or?
Sure. Actually, yeah. What did you guys think of Secret
Oh,
Wars?
Yeah,
great.
two spoilers at least done. One by my own personal.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I didn't-
He's speaking with us. He's communicating in the African clicking language.
Is this thing even working?
No. It's funny because we can hear everything that you don't want to tell us, but everything you really want to tell us is blurred out. It's like Google Hangout has a spoiler tag. But I think what you're trying to say is Rocket Raccoon died, which was really sad.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Good, kill that rodent off.
It was really, but he got really meta. Like, I don't think a lot of people are like, oh, he broke the fourth wall, and I don't think he really did that, but he did get very, very meta in one scene, and that's why he had to be punished. But
Cyclops became Phoenix too. It's kinda cool.
yeah, weirdly, like he gets some combo of like the Iron Fist and Phoenix and his own Cyclops suit. But that was really like it was a really big issue, but I feel like. And I had to, it might just be because I read the setup issues just before I read it. Like, I really wanted to read Secret Wars 1, and then I was like, wait, I haven't read The Last Avengers, The Last New Avengers. But this is one of those where if you weren't reading New Avengers and Avengers or Secret Wars 0, you probably were completely lost. Because it's just balls to the wall, like, shit is happening, and you probably don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's the problem that I had, because I had to keep up with New Avengers, like, I think a week prior to Secret Wars, and I don't know, it just was like, I don't know, it just felt like New Avengers dragged on. There was...
To be fair, Jonathan Hickman makes reading anything a little easier, because he is, based to God, Hickman, the greatest comic book writer of all time. I'm kidding. But he is very good.
Yeah.
Josh is the Goblin.
Yeah.
It just felt like past the first 10 or 12 issues of New Avengers, they just sat around and like talked about this incursion happening like the whole time and did nothing.
They got one of the things, and yes, V-necks for views. But, the big thing with New Avengers is it got very political. It was a very dark and I agree with you. There wasn't a ton of action. It was a really, really like introspective run. That's personally why I liked it. But it got very deep. But I do agree with you. I think it did drag for a little bit.
Yeah.
I like the Great Society story arc. It was cool.
What?
The Society story arc where they met, like, it was almost like the Justice League or something, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really like a lot of the times. One of my favorite things about that New Avengers thing is as these incursions are happening, you're seeing these other universes, and the other universes that you see are interesting. Like there was one where they fought the X-Men of all people, and it was like the X-Men are the actual the defenders of this planet. And it was a really interesting twist. I like some of the things that came out of that New Avengers arc, like the Cabal. Namor actually finally. It's like the fall of Anakin in the prequels. He's just like he becomes Darth Vader. Namor embraces the rules again.
Black Panther came out. I'm like, kill that dude already.
Yeah.
Namor, yeah, like it's so great. Like everyone was talking about how Black Panther. It's like, oh, Black Panther stabs him in the chest and kills him, and it's like, no, he lives. Damn it.
Though I will say it's not very surprising that Namor of all the people like turned to the Cabal.
Yeah.
Really, because Namor has always been on the good and evil. He's always a thin line. For the longest time, he was an adversary to the Fantastic Four. He fought them on multiple occasions.
And there's like the love triangle there between Reed, Sue, and Namor was the really big story. And so it's really interesting to see like how Namor developed over the course of this arc, and now he's maybe a little more repentant than anything, although probably not anymore. He's probably going to kill all of them. But again, it's one of those things where even in Secret Wars #1, it was so breakneck that even at the end of this issue, when I guess the life raft is kind of crashed on some unknown world, they're advertising this battle world and stuff like that, and you're wondering how the hell, like if there are only 2 worlds left, like what is going to happen? How are all these alternate universes going to get into Battle World? And that's where I think the Beyonder is going to come in. So
It doesn't
Yeah,
seem
but
like it's convergence though. Like all the different worlds are fighting again. It's like
Doesn't it seem like it's I don't know.
I didn't think it was gonna be this similar, but it seemed like from the first issue, it seemed like oh they're gonna fight again, like all these different universes.
Yeah.
True.
Though I have to ask this, I'm gonna be a little bit skeptical here, but with all the tests that we've already had, I haven't read it yet. Full disclosure, I kind of. But is this event going to be just a giant big reverse?
What?
Zach coming to us live from Atlantis. Sounds like
why, yes,
you're
Zach,
underwater.
they do sell loaves of bread.
Are you serious? Come on.
All right. Actually, something interesting to address here. Someone asks, okay, so are all Marvel books currently running canceled? For the time being, yes, because Secret Wars is going to essentially, like, they're all going to be part of Secret Wars, essentially. They're all going to be taking part in that big event. So it's like convergence. All the DC titles kind of came to an end, except for Batman and Justice League and all the other ones that are still going on. But the
Batman.
Yeah, Batman, and that's the weirdest thing to me is like it's very confusing. It's like convergence is happening, but then it's like we're gonna end Endgame and have Justice League have a big story arc too with Darkseid War getting set up.
Well, it's because those books are supposed to, that and Multiversity 2 are all supposed to ship April 1st, but they got pushed back for some reason. I don't know why. I think the art or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, so are all Marvel books currently running canceled? No, they're gonna battle. Secret Wars is gonna take place, and then we'll probably get back to a slightly altered Cole after that.
Yeah, we don't even know any of the titles that are going to be after Secret Wars yet.
No, is Zach Namor underwater? Yes, he is. Another thing interesting to talk about. Feminists boycotting Age of Ultron because of a rape joke and Black Widow's portrayal. Now, I will explain this because I did a little research on this today. The rape joke is actually, it's a little weird, and it's weird that it was in there. Like, it's not weird that Stark would make the joke, it's weird that Whedon would write him making the joke. Because, and yes, convergence isn't affecting the main universe. I believe that's the case. Nick, is that right?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue, honestly. It's so confusing, but it seems like it's some pocket universe or something. I don't know.
But feminists boycotting Age of Ultron because of the rape joke. The rape joke, like I said, it's a little odd that Whedon would put it in there. And the rape joke in question is when Tony Stark is walking up to try and lift the hammer. He says, "So if I lift this, I rule Asgard." Thor nods. Tony Stark says, "I will be firm but cruelly fair," or Stark says, "I will be firm but cruelly fair." And it's almost a passing reference, but he says, "I will be reinstituting Prima Nocta." Prima Nocta, for those of you that don't know, is an ancient law that wasn't really practiced a lot back in the day, but it's an ancient law that essentially allowed the nobleman, if you lived on land owned by a nobleman, which most people did, the nobleman had the right to, whenever you get married, he technically had the right to kind of take your woman on her wedding day before you did, prima nocta. He could have sex with the woman you just married before you did. Nobleman. Didn't really happen a lot in practice apparently, but it was a law, and so Stark saying that is a little weird, and I agree. Like I didn't catch that at first, and I did a little research today to understand, why it was an issue. And I agree that maybe that was a little bit of a weird joke to make, especially just because it was in passing and it was something that not a lot of people are gonna really laugh about. Because I mean, how many people know what prima nocta is?
But it kind of makes sense. Tony Stark make.
I agree. Like Tony Stark making the joke is really. I think it's something that Stark would say. But it's a little weird. And part of me is wondering, like, who put it in there? But the bigger issue here is a lot of people are very, very angry over Black Widow's portrayal. And Nick, someone says you look like Batman.
I am Batman.
He is Batman. But Black Widow's portrayal, and we've probably got about 10 more good minutes here. This has made a lot of people angry. And I think a lot of it is because I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is a lot of it is as a result of the Jeremy Renner joke. I think even if people don't understand that it's tied in, I think subconsciously people were upset. It's like, oh, what are you gonna say? She's a slut and a whore. Like, why are you gonna say that? And then they go see the movie, and it didn't really ease their minds about it. The big thing is she is captured by Ultron and made a damsel in distress, in their words, for much of the film. So
yeah, but Jeremy kind of went back.
Well,
Whatever.
Chris Evans apologized. Jeremy was a little snarky about it. He said, I'm sorry that me calling a fictional character a whore is upsetting you. So it was kind of like a backhanded non-apology.
I think people are upset about the Black Widow-Banner relationship too.
I mean, to me, it kind of came out of nowhere. It played well, or pretty well, in the movie, but it had no setup in the previous movies.
Not really. It just came out of nowhere. I didn't mind it too much. It did show some interesting ideas, like the whole sterilization thing with the bedroom with Natasha and the whole being a monster, all that. I mean, okay. I did understand most.
Yeah, I caught most of that. I would agree. I mean, their chemistry, I think they played pretty well on screen together. I love Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner. I like Mark Ruffalo a lot in general.
I still like Edward Norton.
They bounced off of each other very well. But I mean, I'm not sure. Like, I think it was an easy way to tie into both of their character developments. It's like, okay, we need a woman to really we need to kind of get to the Bruce's personal side, and the best way to do that is through a relationship. And we really need to get into Black Widow's history, and the best way to do that is she can't have kids, and a relationship would expose that as well.
There's a big misunderstanding saying that the fact that kids makes her a monster. Makes her a monster is her.
I wouldn't agree with that. That assessment I wouldn't agree with. I think the argument I'm seeing the most is she was locked up in Ultron's tower, and she really didn't do anything. Like, she just waited there for Banner to come save her.
Well, her. She's still what at this point?
What?
Like, she's multiple people at this point to make her monster.
I think that's the bigger point there. But what am I gonna say? I don't know. I think that the thing we got to do is, this is what I was going to say. I think we got to look at the Avengers movies as sequels to one another, and so no matter what happens in between in the cinematic universe, and I don't think this should be the way it is. I think Feige needs to step up his game and kind of police his directors a little closer. But I think we got to look at the Avengers sequels as the Avengers movies as tied together more than anything, and so their relationship in the second movie is heavily predicated on the fact that they have a little bit of a rocky relationship in the first movie. And I think Nick Fury references it in Avengers 2. He and Black Widow do at the very end. I mean, she brought him in. It had a little arc where it was like she brought him in, and she's clearly very terrified of him. And they play through that most of the way through the movie and never really address it in the end, and it kind of comes back up here where it's just an interesting spin-off of that. But I don't know, there were a lot of things in this movie that, especially after Avengers 1, where everyone thought Widow and Hawkeye were going to get together, having Hawkeye have a family of his own and having Widow be with the Hulk was interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of short-lived, but I don't know. What do you guys think about the backlash for this?
In the words of Bill Burr, if you take offense of a character being called a whore, your life.
Yeah. Oscar, what do you think?
Well, I for the most part agree, what you guys are saying, that the relationship between the two of them really came out of nowhere, and I didn't really see it working whatsoever. But when I sat down and just watched the movie, the relationship between the two actually made sense. And I got to quote Mark Ruffalo on this on Twitter. there was some guy who asked him why did they turn Black Widow into a damsel love interest that needed saving, and Mark Ruffalo was like, well, in reality, we turned the Hulk into a love interest who needs saving.
And I think that's a good point, because she really did. I think she did a lot more to help Banner come to terms with himself, maybe a little more. And she failed in the end because the Hulk, spoiler alert, is off the grid.
Yeah.
But I think it is really interesting, and I got to point back to Ruffalo. Ruffalo, both on Twitter and in his AMA on Reddit, really very, very, in a well-spoken way, I guess you could say, really thoughtfully defended her role in the movie. But he did say she needs her own movie, and I would say, I would give her own movie too. Like,
yeah,
I would
definitely.
What?
Hey.
Movie too. Let's make it like a all or born or something. Just
Zach is currently being censored by Marvel Entertainment because he has stumbled onto the Black Widow script.
okay,
Of course.
What I said, make it like a Jason Bourne.
Yeah, that would be a Jason Bourne. I kind of think that would be a really cool movie. Maybe even like not even just like a one shot, because not a one shot is not enough. I think she needs to have a movie. But the question is, what do you do? I think post Civil War, it'd be interesting to see what happens. But because Civil War is kind of still a little bit under wraps. So maybe we'll pose that question to the audience. What do you think of the feminist backlash against Black Widow's role? And Nick, what are your thoughts actually?
She was far superior handled in The Winter Soldier. That was like the best handling of her in any of the MCU stuff, I think.
Agreed, and that's actually something that a lot of people are saying is like, did you watch The Winter Soldier? Because that's it. Pretty much like her character in that. I think that's the big thing is like what we're led to believe about Black Widow, what these movies have taught us about Black Widow, doesn't really gel. Like, why would you just sit in the cell? To me, I'm like, well, there are these giant robots.
I mean, technically in the comics, though, Black Widow is like a murderous, like Russian spy, so they don't really do her like properly anyway. So
she made a radio. She could have made a taser. Just whatever. Interesting thing here. Going to the comments. Hearing Zach talk must be what it's like to hear Black Bolt speak before your ears implode. Yes.
Confirmed. I am.
what?
He just destroyed your speakers. Con, imagine the pressure now for Wonder Woman and Miss Marvel film law. Yes, the pressure is now very high for Miss Marvel especially. I think Wonder Woman's going to be fine.
Captain Marvel. It's called Captain Marvel.
Excuse me.
State pressure is much
Captain Marvel. And really, like, maybe we'll end the show on this, but also thank you again, Con. Definitely, Josh. He went on Conan O'Brien and joked about it, the Prima Nocta joke. I assume you're talking about. So we definitely need to investigate that.
Yeah.
Anything else? Someone in the
No, I think
world.
that was Jeremy Renner that went on Conan.
Jeremy Renner. It wasn't Jeremy Renner.
Oh, okay. So I was reading those comments as directly related to each other, but damn, yeah, Renner kind of backhanded the whole thing.
Him.
Here's a good question. What do you think of the Birdman director calling Marvel films cultural genocide? I think he was talking about comic book films in general. Not sure
Yeah,
if the
that's why he
director
made Birdman. It was a big middle finger to like.
Yeah, well,
I might have just been like a pleb or something like that. But when I watched Birdman, I didn't really get that feeling. I felt like it was more like a middle finger to like the pretentiousness of people that just write off popular films. But maybe that was my reaction to it. But I'm dying here.
no.
I think. What?
You're dying of goblin disease.
I got goblin disease. I haven't even seen Jaws. It must be airborne. But cultural genocide. I mean, it depends. It's another movie. Where the James Bond movie is cultural genocide. Where, I'm not going to say the Transformers movies because that might be something that I would call
Hey,
cultural
this guy
genocide.
is
But
saying, why is it wrong to call her Miss Marvel? Because people with
technically, that's
call her Captain Marvel.
that's not her rank. When she becomes General Marvel, we'll call her General Marvel too. But Major Marvel.
That's because the movie is named Captain Marvel. Her movie is named Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to put Marvel in that movie.
No, it was, and then to respond to Concon again, it was Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu. It was him. He said they are cultural genocide, which was really weird. But and then everybody got kind of on Robert Downey Jr. for the joke he made about towards Iñárritu. And it was taken the wrong way. I think Downey didn't word it correctly, but his exact words were something like, he's like, it must have been hard for you as a non-native English speaker to pronounce cultural genocide or something like that. Little bit of a low blow, I guess. But
yeah.
This is just the reaction to everything. It's like backlash against Black Widow. Constantine canceled.
And then there was silence.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Actually, that's the thing I want to end on. Who do you guys think should play Captain Marvel?
You guys read Captain Marvel though? Are you familiar with Carol Danvers or?
I
am familiar with I just don't read the book per se.
Who do you guys want to play Captain Marvel? Jump in.
I don't know how to pick, really.
Zach abstains. Oscar.
Oh my god, you really had to ask for that.
Yep. There are like a dozen choices, but pick.
Let's say Emily Blunt.
Agreed. Nick.
I'm gonna pass on the movie. Sorry.
Pass on the movie. He's gonna dropped.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Dropped. I'm on the fence because I really want Emily Blunt in terms of acting skill, but like Natalie Dormer though. She'd be pretty good too. Although she's already been in the Marvel universe, so she can't. Oh well. But she was the secretary in Captain America: The First Avenger. So, yeah. All right. So that about wraps it up here for us. You guys have any parting thoughts? Zach, what's the water like?
Oh, it's nice. You gotta come over sometime. Kind of like a hot tub.
It's all the snow that melted up in Maine. All of it just you're flooded.
Yeah, we're like underwater land. Yeah.
Any other final thoughts?
What I just said from Bill Burr. Go back to that. That's my final thought.
Okay. Anybody else? Going once. Going twice. Sold. This show is over. Thank you for tuning in. You can catch us every Saturday here. Actually, we prefer you go to Instigator because they want us to go off those comments, but typically we don't get a ton of an audience there, so we can kind of cheat and then go into the Google Hangouts or just go on from the YouTube comments. Every Saturday at 7 o'clock, either me, Josh, or both of us, and some sort of mixture of the other three guys, usually all of them, will always be here. So tell me your thoughts on pretty much everything we talked about. Anything we talked about, hit us up in the comments. We always try to get back to you. If you're new, don't forget to like and subscribe. Signing off, this is CJ.
And I'm Zach.
Guys, come on.
And I'm the Swedish guy.
Yes.
Come on.
Nick is here as well.
Yeah.
All right. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go drown myself.